Welcome to the Blues Trail Revisited podcast. It's episode 9, and I'm Ted Reed. This podcast is sponsored by the Clarksdale Tourism Commission, also widely known as Visit Clarksdale. This podcast is an offshoot of a film I finished this year about my return to the Mississippi Delta to rediscover the places I first encountered 50 years ago. To see the film, just go to www.bluestrailrevisited.com. This episode, we're going to talk with some of the owners of two relatively new music venues in Clarksdale, Mississippi. In our first segment, coming up this weekend in Clarksdale, Mississippi is the third annual BAM Fest. That's the birthplace of American Music Festival. And it's really a Juneteenth celebration. The main promoters and organizers of BAM Fest are Ja'Cory Miller and Adele Henderson, the owners of the Delta Blues Alley Cafe. They've been doing some heavy renovation work to their location at the end of Delta Avenue in Clarksdale. I talked with them a few weeks ago about their plans and hopes for the festival and their business. Talking with Ja'Cory Miller and Adele Henderson at the Delta Blues Alley Cafe in Clarksdale, Mississippi. How are you guys doing today?
Feeling great. Doing good.
All right, excellent. So I walked in here today, and it looks like a construction site. And so clearly you've been busy doing some fix-up here during the pandemic.
Definitely. Like I was saying earlier, pardon our dust. That's what they usually say. But, yeah, we're doing a full renovation. We took advantage of this, I guess, pandemic downtime, and went on to decide to do some upgrades and some renovations. So hopefully by the time we have our BAM Fest in June, the birthplace of American Music Festival in June, we'll be up and running and full-fledged going.
What was this place before you fixed it up?
Well, it was actually, he's been here about 10, well, it's actually been about 12 now, because I've been here 3. Yeah, right. And he is actually was the Clark Vegas.
Oh, before that,
yeah.
Oh, if you talking about, I was actually talking about before I was even here, but yeah, it was formerly Club Vegas Blues Lounge. Before that, it was the Millennium. I heard it was the
5-0.
Yeah, the
5-0
police
club.
officers had it at one point in time. It was Club 5-0. I think it was another bar before that.
Yeah.
I heard it used to be a gym, a car dealership,
Yeah, and
a
there was
bank.
a bank. Yes.
Yeah, I saw the vault door over there, and I was
Yeah.
thinking, whoa,
So, yeah.
this place has been through some changes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What are the plans for after you get the place fixed up? What do you got?
Once
in
we
mind?
get fixed up, we actually plan to be hopefully going full-fledged. I actually work by day. I work in healthcare, so I have been kind of closed for a little while working COVID. And so when I get back open, my plan is to try to take advantage of this time and just try to get things going full-fledged. Last year was our first year having our full liquor bar. Mm-hmm. So COVID put that on pause. So Juke Jones was actually our first time actually getting a chance to take advantage of that. So we plan on having full bar going, kitchen going, live entertainment on Fridays going, starting back. We do our Fridays after 5, live after 5 on Fridays. So we're going to have live music starting back on Fridays. Any local entertainers that want to be a part of that, give us contact. We can get that going. We're going to have our regular nights. And we're just going to try to have as much going as we can.
This is Delta, right?
Delta, at the corner of Delta and Blues Alley, hence
Okay.
Delta Blues Alley Cafe.
So we're in the front room off of Delta, but you're saying there's more room going on in back.
Oh yeah, it's actually a big room. We call it like a ballroom. We're gonna have special events, VIP sections. We're gonna have about 4 VIP sections. It's a big stage in the back. Where we can accommodate bigger bands.
Another bar, the kitchen area. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're gonna be really, like I said, ready to fully function. We have live music at the front, but we're gonna have the stage at the back too, so we can have that also going. So
we actually do run it simultaneously too, because we've had bands in the back and bands in front. Terry Harmonica Bean, who you're going to interview, he'll tell you we've had him going up front, and by the club being so big, it's larger, and so we have two bands going simultaneously sometimes. Yeah, especially during Juke Joint Festival.
And if you come for Band Fest, you will see two bands going at the same time.
Okay.
So we're gonna have, like I said, we usually try to give. Sometimes like we try to give a little bit of everything. Like we may have a full band at the back. Sometimes we have our smaller ones at the front, and in that way, because people sometimes don't know all that's back there, and then so we put a band at the front really for our street traffic, because a lot of times people only know Ground Zero, so they go to Ground Zero, we right across the street, but they be like, they don't know what's going on over here, so we had to put the band in the front so they can hear tick 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 tick, and and hear those licks and let them know, hey, it's music over here. So that's what we're trying to get. Really, that's our hardest thing, I believe, is just getting people to know we're here. There's a lot of businesses in Clarksdale that don't get as much notoriety as some of the other ones. Like some of the other ones may get more notoriety and they're probably more marketable better. But it's a lot of great bars, a lot of great restaurants, a lot of good food here. It's a lot of good barbecue. It's a lot of places around here. Like if you go, like even in this area, you have a lot of restaurants people are more familiar with. But if you go like across the tracks, you have like Chucky's Barbecue, you have like Owens Burger Shack, you have just great mom and pop restaurants where you can get some real deal food. There's other little places, like a couple of places that's gonna be on the BAM Fest, which is like the Delta Bird Cage. She has a new place over there that's real nice. Got Pizza Grill down there. You have Messenger's Pool Hall. They're not as open as they used to be, but they're coming. Eventually may come back. You got Sean Bad Apple, like we said earlier. He's coming to town and has a spot. So we have a lot of a great place. Bluesberry Cafe. That's another location that's gonna be doing the Birthplace of American Music Festival in June. So we got a lot of the places in our festival that people don't know about as much. We try to give more exposure to those places that are sometimes overlooked when Clarksdale is marketed. So we want to give more of a light on some of those other ones that they may not know. We may be across the street from Ground Zero and Morgan Freeman, but we still over here. We got some good stuff for you across the street.
When COVID hit and you guys had to shut down, were you able to get any of that relief funding or anything like that? What happened with that?
Well, I wish. I was able to, the best relief for me, I was able to, like I said, I work in healthcare. So I actually went off and worked in Texas for about 4 months, basically just working and saving. So the relief fund I got, I made it myself, so I didn't get any of those. There was a few places that did help. High Purpose gave some grant, a couple little things like that, but no governmental funding or nothing like that. We didn't have anything like that. We would appreciate it if anybody is listening, would love to sponsor anything that we do over here. We're not too shy to say thank you.
Exactly.
But now everything, I basically done it on my own.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it like that though. I've been doing it on my own for so long now. I think I was prepared for COVID 10 years ago.
Exactly.
No, don't owe anybody anything.
That's it.
Adele, how'd you get through this?
Well, I have a full-time day job too. I was an area manager for Popeyes for 30 years, and now I've been working for churches in Tunica for about 10 years now. And we, like Corey said, just basically, we never shut down. So we just worked through it, and like I said, stuff most of the stuff that we did, it was out of pocket, and we just had to try to make it through, as much as possible. Once, the downtime was that we wasn't open, so a lot of stuff like, the electricity wasn't on, we wasn't running electricity and stuff like that, but, we just tried to do the best we can, and like I said, Corey went off, and, we were trying to get some work done during the time that he was gone, and then I was working like 10, 11 hours a day and 6 days a week and stuff, and it was a little tough. He's trying to communicate me on the phone, and I'm at work and I got like 15 calls from him, and then I'm trying to get these construction workers to do what they supposed to do.
That's rough.
Oh yeah. It was now that was the roughest part of the pandemic for me, trying to work from a distance to get things done over the phone.
Texas, right?
Yeah, and I was, like I said, I was way down at the bottom of the map in El Paso, so I was, trying to get things together with just trying to operate and still get the business ready for operation from a distance. So. Like I said, it was a blessing, even though, it was a hard time and we learned through the pandemic. But like I said, I think that downtime gave us time to pause and gave us time to kind of restructure some things and get some things in order that normally we wouldn't have been able to do. Just the fact of just being able to provide and even do the renovation that I had a chance to get done, that was a blessing. And we take that as such. So, like I said, we just want to make a real good place that people love to come to. We got a sign on the door that said we don't bite. So, don't be afraid to come over here regardless of what you may have heard anywhere else.
So you're going to have a barbecue wagon out in front of here? Or?
Man, we definitely going to have, try to have everything. We actually have a full menu of food, whether it's fresh off the grill outside or live from the kitchen. We're going to have great food. We got a couple other employees that we're hiring to kind of get our bar all the way together, get the kitchen all the way together, get a little wait staff. We're just going to have it all the way situated and have it a nice place that people get a chance to come check out. Like I said, we've almost always done it, but just getting people to know, hey, we're over here doing it. When you got all this food and people not buying it, we tend to eat it ourselves, So
that goes.
So we don't want that problem. We rather give it to y'all and let y'all know how good it is. So
Exactly.
So that's what the plan is. But yeah, we're gonna have all of that. That's what Clarksdale is known for. That's what I tell about the South in general. That some of the best food that you can have comes from around these parts. You know what I mean? You have different ways it's done, whether it's regular Southern style or all the way to the soul food style. It's just a little bit different. And then like that barbecue is one of the things that the South and our area is known for. So we definitely gonna have that. That grill is gonna be smoking. We actually just had a barbecue, our first barbecue festival, which was Mother's Day weekend, and it was called the Crossroads Blues, Brews, and Barbecue. That was our first year doing it this year. So that's gonna be an annual event. We connected with, like I said, some of those local barbecue joints. We wish we would have more participation. Mm-hmm. That's the hardest part when you get things started, is to get people to gravitate and be a part of things. A lot of people don't like to be there on that ground level. They like to wait till it's almost a skyscraper, then everybody jumps on. But hopefully we can get more participation, more sponsors. Next year, we was communicating with getting fully sanctioned with the Memphis Barbecue Network, where this one here was we wanted more of a local event where we got just local restaurants and local competitors. So we actually still have a trophy over there so we can know who has the best BAM barbecue in town, Right. So we still haven't got that title distributed yet. So we're going to try to give it out this BAM festival and find out who has the best. So once again, if any of you guys out there can put your meat where their mouth is, get on the grill and come get this trophy. We want to know who got the best food in town. I'm calling out all of those places that ain't made their way yet. Chucky's over there, barbecue, come on down. Abe's, come on down. Owens, come on down. Everybody that, and these places have their own business, so it's hard for them to get on location. Right. But I want, try to get a chance where we can get the local, because next year we're going to make it nationwide. So that way it'll be people from all over the United States that want to compete going to be here. So we want to make sure that we give the locals first the chance to go ahead and get that crown out the way. But yeah, Crossroads Blues, Brews, and Barbecue every around Mother's Day weekend. Y'all come check it out.
All right. So hopefully you'll give Memphis and May a run for the money.
I said you hurt me for the last time. I said you hurt me for the last time. And if I let you hurt me again, I'll go so out my mind. I said you hurt me for the last time.
Any last comments you want to leave the audience here about what you guys are doing and what your plans are, which I think it's great.
Well, we just want to let everybody know that we got a nice grown-up place, and we welcome everybody. I'm Clarksdale bred. I've been here all my life, and I've seen things grow and saw places leave and come back. And as people know, I own my own club at one time, and we just want to invite everybody back. Hopefully everybody feels safe and stuff like that. Get your shot, and, and you know what I'm saying. And just come on out and start having, try to get things back to normal for people just looking for a place of normalcy and stuff like that. So we want to invite everybody out to the Delta Blues Alley Cafe and tell your friends you want to bring your wife out or bring your girlfriend out, your husband and stuff, and just for some good blues and good barbecue, good something to eat, or just come around and sit at the bar. We're going to have televisions all around the bar and stuff. You can come out, and we're getting ready for the ball games and stuff like that. So hopefully by June 19th, we're going to,
It's
seating
definite. It's definite.
It's definitely going to happen. So we'll be open.
God has
And-
something different to say, but other than that,
I just want, we're going to get a chance to take some pictures once we get everything cleaned up, and it's going to be a totally different look for the people that had been here in the past.
Right. When
you come back, because we had some people, we wasn't even open really, but they saw some of the things we had done in the back. They were like, wow, so it's going to be a big difference. I think people are going to be pleased.
one thing I want everybody to go and check out the website, and that's bamfestms.com. That's www.bamfestms.com, Birthplace of American Music Festivals. And go check out the website. Get tuned in to the upcoming event. It's going to be June 19th, which is Juneteenth and Father's Day weekend. So it's going to be an annual event. It's always an annual event. This is our third one. Like I'm calling this year Reloaded, because we had to take a break from the second year, but we're coming right back. And we want everybody to come check it out. Come on down. We're going to have free Juneteenth and Vest Fest. It's called Invoking New Visions Ever Since a Day on the side, which is a free event for the public. We got a proclamation for Juneteenth. Official last year by the mayor. The mayor gave us a proclamation that we did last year, because even though last year we weren't able to do the BAM Fest, we still was able to do the Juneteenth and Vest Fest outside, because it was always an outside socially distanced event, so we were able to still do that. So we definitely going to keep that going. And like I said, we have
and get your tickets.
I was just about to say. And we're going to have the BAM Fest, which is going to be in all of the local bars around here. You have Peace Grills, Messengers, Sean Bad Apple, Bluesberry Cafe, the Delta Bird Cave, Peace Grill, Delta Blues Alley Cafe, Crossroads Culture Art Center, Delta Amusement, Alleyway. We're going to have just a whole lot of different, over 40 entertainers are going to be coming through to provide entertainment for you all. Like I said, this is a ticketed event. If you go to I just got a phone with my web designer. If you go to the website tomorrow, you will see all this information. But if you go on Facebook today and go to Eventbrite and just put in the Birthplace of American Music Festival, you can see all of the ticketed information. We're coordinating right now also. We're putting a Blues Cruise tour together, where each one of our venues, we're going to have transportation where you can actually buy a ticket to get shuttled to each one of the locations. So it's going to be a real setup. We're trying to do it differently. What we do with our event with the Birthplace of American Music Festival, we take a lot of the different pros and cons of all of the festivals that we did and kind of try to build up on them and try to take different little things that we can do our own little different little things. So, and we're here, Delta Blues Alley Cafe, 352 Delta Avenue, right across from Ground Zero, right across from the Blues Museum. We don't bite.
And there it is. I got to tell you, when I walked in here today, and I looked around and said, "Oh, what's going on in here?" But you know, I can kind of picture what you guys are up to, and this is going to be a hot space.
Oh yeah,
This is going to be
organized
terrific.
confusion right now.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I call it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like a tornado in a box. Just a lot of environment where people can come out if they just want to put on some jeans and a t-shirt. They can come out, or if they want to dress up and put on some a button up and some heels. We're gonna have events for each and every group, and like I said, we're gonna have different genres that everything that the blues brought, we're gonna have it for you. So come on out, enjoy a good time. Bam Fest, June 19th, Juneteenth weekend, Father's Day weekend. Come on down and enjoy us.
Excellent. So if you're looking for someplace to be on Juneteenth, this sounds like it's going to be the place. Really good. Jacori, Adele, thank you very much. Appreciate your time, and I will definitely be back. All right. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you. All right. Bam.
You got that right.
If you've been to any of the many music festivals in Clarksdale over the last several years, you've no doubt been entertained by Sean Bad Apple. He plays guitars, drums, and much more. Now he has his own club on Issaquena Avenue. I stopped in to see how he's managed to keep a business going through the pandemic and what his plans for the future are.
I'm here with Sean Bad Apple, and we are talking in his club, which is the Bad Apple Club.
Bad Apple Blues Club.
Okay, and
What do you think? This is a disco club, Ted?
no, I don't think it's a disco club. All right, we'll start that again. I'm here with Sean Bad Apple at the Bad Apple Blues Club in Clarksdale, Mississippi, and I wanted to talk with him about, first of all, his career, but then also about the challenges of setting up a club, a music club, during the pandemic. Sean, how are you today?
I'm great, Ted. It's great to have a chance to speak with you again, and just another day here in beautiful downtown Clarksdale, Mississippi.
It certainly is. It is a gorgeous sunny day. So, when did you first get interested in music? I know we're going to take that's a bunch of steps back, but when did you first feel, this is something I want to do?
So as a young kid, music was one of the things that just really grabbed a hold of me. I liked it that it didn't necessarily have rules. You could kind of do whatever you want with it, take it in any direction. But around 12 or so, I got really interested in blues. I got interested the way a lot of people do. Some of my heroes in music, like, maybe the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, and, you read about Jimi Hendrix and you learn about his influences, like, Albert King and Freddie King and these guys. And so you research them, and then you follow it backwards. And then I got more into the Delta style blues, pre-war blues, like Son House and Robert Johnson, Blind Willie Johnson, all these guys, Blind Boy Fuller. And it just really grabbed hold of me. It really did. Just the mysterious nature of the music, people calling it the devil's music, and just this whole cloud around it, and selling your soul to the devil at the crossroads. It was just, and people jumping on a train and riding it to a new town. It was just full of adventure and danger. You know, you might get stabbed in the neck in a juke joint. That's always exciting. Who doesn't want that? And, and it just, you know, and I was one of the few of my friends who was really interested in that style of music. And so out of high school, you know, my brothers and sisters are way older than me. They became doctors and lawyers, and I wanted to be a blues man from Mississippi, you know. So I came down here with my dog, and after some research, I found an 88-year-old bluesman at the time, and this was in the early 90s. His name was Jack Owens in Bentonia, Mississippi, and his harmonica player, Buddy Spires. And they just took me right in, you know. That's what I found. The older generation of blues, if you're a fan, you could just go sleep on their couch, and they'll go fishing with you and teach you the fine art of drinking corn liquor. And and one old bluesman taught me that you have to wear sunglasses, because that way guys, husbands can't see you looking at their wives, you know. So I used to wear sunglasses for years, but then I think people caught on, you know. So I took them off, and now I'm just more sneaky about it.
Okay.
And so yeah, so from then, you know, I lived all different places: California, you know, Pennsylvania, Alaska. But everywhere I went, the only music I was interested in playing was blues music. And so every time it led me back to Mississippi, because this area, I'm allowed to play the music that I love. People from all over the world every day come here just to learn about the music that came from this area, the cotton fields, the churches, you know, of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, really is responsible for the world's music, I believe.
I think I agree 100% with that. What was your first guitar?
So my first guitar was a little toy guitar. It had maybe one string. It was this electronic kind of little guitar, and I guess that would have been the let's see, mid to late 70s, and then I would bang on pots and pans, you know, and record it on one boom box, and then play that back, and then play my one string electronic guitar and onto another little tape recorder my sister had, you know, and just try to put songs together. And then when I was 12, my sister bought me a guitar for Christmas, you know. And first I got a bass when I was 11. My brother bought me a bass because he was in law school and he was a bass player, you know. So he wanted me to play bass, but then I just got kind of bored with the bass, you know, and I just wanted to play guitar, you know. And I wanted to be Jimi Hendrix and Robert Johnson combined, you know.
So what was your first non-bass guitar?
It was a Flying V guitar, and the brand was some off-brand, you know. I'm not even sure what the brand name was, you know. But it was. I know this. It was hard to keep on your lap because it was shaped like a V, so it would fall down all the time. You know, it was hard to hold on to, like my girlfriend.
So I've seen you perform as a solo artist, but also with other folks. Who have you played with?
Oh man. Let's see. So like I said, like, you know, my first kind of mentor into the blues, like a real deal old school blues guy, was that Jack Owens, you know, Bud Spires in Bentonia. And then R.L. Boyce was a real interesting figure in my life. You know, me and my harmonica player, Martin Big Boy Grant, out of Senatobia, we used to go and play in R.L. Boyce's yard in Como on a daily basis, really, from probably 2006 to 2010. And it was not for money. It wasn't for anything else except to just play in the yard for his family, really. When the sun would start going down, RL's relatives would come and hang out in the yard and, you know, dance and drink, and we'd cook stuff on the grill. It was a lot of fun, you know. And one of the things I love about RL, you know, every time he plays, a little tear comes down out of his eye, and it's not for sadness. It's really, I think, joy. It's what music represents. You know, it just brings everyone together, and he really loves being part of it. So I love playing with Aurel. He's a really great guy. Terry Harmonica Bean at Aponatoc, I was in his electric blues band for about 3 years. I played guitar. And then I was in a really cool band with Joseph Burnside, who's Aurel Burnside's son, and Cedric Burnside's father, actually Calvin Jackson, was our drummer. And that was really cool. And Martin, of course, Big Boy was in that as well. We played some shows. A woman named Marianne Action Jackson, who was Calvin Jackson's cousin, I believe. She was a really great entertainer, woman of the blues. She had a brother named Rooster, and Rooster had a little juke joint in Sardis, Mississippi, and it sat back off this road, and it was like a storage building that went back, and then they cut the back off it, and then like a capital letter T, like a travel trailer, went across the back of it sideways, and they cut the side off of that. So when you walk in, there was like picnic tables on the left and right, you know, a disco ball, and then like a wood burner, and then you walk up the steps onto the travel trailer camper thing, and that was the stage. You know, you'd look at all the people in the storage building, and behind you sometimes they'd be cooking fish on the stove, and the grease splatter would come up and hit your back as you're playing, you know. And that was a great gig. We used to love now the first time we played there, you know, Marianne would say, you know, baby, we get a lot of people in here, hundreds of people, you know, we'll do pretty good at the door. We should play. And I said, yeah, I'd love to play at your brother. So we play, and there's 200 people in there probably, you know, $5 a piece at the door, you know. And we're thinking, man, we're going to make $1,000. This is great. You know, there was 5 of us, I think. Man, we're going to clean up. And we get done, and, you know, we said to the doorman, how do we do? And I think he handed us about $58, you know. And I said, well, why did we get $58? He said, well, because none of Rooster's relatives pay. And so basically, he had like 36 children. So it was like between his kids and grandkids and great-grandkids, the whole place like would be packed every time, and you hardly make anything at the door, you know. But it's just part of a juke joint experience. And Rooster was an old gentleman. We used to wear a cowboy hat and like a 44 or 357, like a cowboy style gun with a holster, you know. And he would he's passed, so I could say it. He'd have, you know, make some moonshine and stuff, and him and his buddies would be playing either dominoes or cards over on the side of us while we'd be playing music, you know. And it was a really great place. All these men and women have always been so gracious. Like, yeah, T. Model Ford, Robert Wolfman Belfour, originally from Red Banks, you know. Robert Belfour was one of my heroes, and it's interesting, you know, because, you know, me and people like me that are just really addicted and huge fans of the blues to begin with, Robert is like a hero, but, you know, he'd go play on the streets of Beale Street, and people would just walk right by and not realize that this man was a treasure, you know, and just undervalued, I think, you know, a lot of these guys are, and women, you know. But and I think a lot of people around the world thought that kind of blues really has, you know, died off 5-6 decades ago. But in Clarksdale, it would still be going on. I mean, you know, you come here 15-20 years ago at Red's place, you'd have Big Jack Johnson one night, then T-Model the next night, Wesley Jefferson, you know, all these guys used to be around, Dr. Mike and Johnny Billington, and some really great blues folks.
The woman I love took from my best friend. Some joker got lucky, stored her bag again. You better come on in my kitchen, 'cause it's going to be raining out. Come on in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One of the other things I've seen you do is at the Juke Joint Festival, you're often a master of ceremonies and, you know, sort of stepping outside of the performer side of that, but a performer nonetheless. Did that sort of naturally lead into the idea of starting your own club?
Roger over at Cathead, Roger Stoley, I started working sound for him years ago in front of Cathead, and you know, it just led to me kind of just introducing people and talking about my passion, which is the town of Clarksdale. Has so much blues history and current 7 days a week blues music. But as far as me starting my own club, yeah, I guess it was a natural progression of me just playing at so many places. And, you know, one of the things that would hurt my heart, you know, I would play on Beale Street, you know, 6 days a week for, I don't know, about 8 years straight. And one of the things that saddened me was the people working on the street get so used to 1 million tourists a year that sometimes they take for granted that people are there to spend their time and effort, and they want to build relationships. And when you're dealing with so many people, unfortunately, you don't have time. And I think here in Clarksdale, that's what we give people is time. We make friendships, and we really welcome them into our town. And we have the time to stop and say hello, and where are you from? And, you know, we're so happy you're here. So I just wanted a place to give some of the old timers that are left a venue to play, to be seen. One lady I had play yesterday, her name is Lady Australia Jones. She goes by Honeybee. She was the sister of Paul Wine Jones. She's 78. She played her yesterday. She's amazing. She's a regular. She's going to do Thursdays. A guy named Little Willie Farmer out of Duck Hill, Mississippi. He's a really plays. When he plays by himself, he almost plays like a Lightning Hopkins style. Does a really good job. But he's well versed in a few different styles of blues. But you know, I think it was a culmination of just wanting to have a place in Clarksdale, which you can't go wrong. This is the home of the blues. If any other place could wear that moniker, I think Clarksdale can claim it more than any other. Mostly make beautiful friendships with people from around the world in an environment that I could control, that I just want them to come in, feel at home, and give them a place to talk about blues, see blues, experience, you know, Clarksdale and the friendly nature that we all share with everyone.
That really is the Clarksdale way. Well, you picked a hell of a time to open up a business, I gotta say.
I'm a genius in that way, yes.
Well, what did you think when you got the word, hey, we're shutting everything down?
Oh, well, I was going to jump off a bridge, but that's the easy way out, Ted. So I decided to stick with it. And yeah, it's true. So I was finishing up my stuff on Beale Street, and my last gig was at Blue City Cafe, New Year's Eve 2019. Now, I owned these buildings here in Clarksdale. I think I bought them in 2018, but I was finishing up my stuff on Beale Street. I had an obligation to finish that up. And so when I did my last show, New Year's Eve on Beale Street, I said, okay, 2020 is going to be dedicated towards getting all my permits, my licenses, you know, start my LLC, get my Mississippi State tax account, my beer permit, all the things I need to do, in my Clarksdale business license, you know, all that, all my ducks in a row, so I could go ahead and open March of 2020. So I get everything all set, and then, yes, a worldwide pandemic hits, and, you know, as a musician, let alone a club owner, you rely on public gatherings. That's the only way to make anything happen. And basically, you know, just like most people around the world, you're automatically just shut down. You know, there's no way to make a living, nothing to do, and then even little things like, you know, unemployment. Well, I wasn't eligible because I wasn't working as of January 1st, 2020. Isn't that something? Because New Year's Eve was my last day of work. So I didn't work because I was getting the club ready. And then it was like, then people were saying, well, apply for this and apply for that. And it's like, well, anything I tried to apply for, it's like, oh, well, show us what you're missing out on this year as opposed to last year for business. I'm like, I didn't have a business last year. Uh-oh. You know, so I've been sitting around twiddling my thumbs and hoping for everything to get back to some sense of normalcy. And I have noticed that people are coming to town now slowly. You know, it is still very slow. But I will say, as a whole, if someone, you know, people sometimes come to our town only during a festival, and they see hundreds or thousands of people during a festival, and they say, oh, there's a lot of possibility here. I'm going to come and sell something or do this, or I think I could make some money here. Wrong. You have to come here because it's a passion. You want to be part of a community. Has nothing to do with money. You know, you probably need to have a job or two to support your life in blues, you know, because trust me, so far I've only experienced losing money, but I will continue to lose money and be open as long as I can in order to have this, because I love it.
But things were better for Juke Joint Festival, right?
Oh my God, it was so wonderful. I really, you know, because we can't have our European friends come join us yet, unfortunately, from you know, the closing of borders and things. So the people in the United States really stepped up, and we had people from probably every state, you know, come over here. And attendance was definitely better than I thought it would be, for sure. It was a wonderful time, and you know, I saw some people shed tears because they never thought this day would come again, where we can get together and celebrate music together. You know,
It's like any new idea. You know, it takes a little bit of time to get going, but I have a feeling that you've got the right vibe here, and certainly a terrific location.
Thanks.
Why don't you tell folks where you are, what days you're open, and what your hours are?
So it's 349 Issaquena Ave. I'm located right next to the historic New Roxy. I've been doing afternoons now, opening at 3 o'clock, hoping that maybe I could get some kind of afternoon tourism, you know. But just reach out to me on Facebook if you want me to open, and you're in Clarksdale and there's no music for you anywhere else. I literally will open the club, talk to you about all the history of the town. I will play for you. And hopefully when you leave, we'll be good friends.
This is Sean Bad Apple with a new idea of Blues on Demand. I think it's great. So I'm encouraging, hopefully people listening to the podcast here will say, hey, I got to visit this place. And you really do, because the inside here, you've done a heck of a job decorating it. It's got this very authentic juke joint kind of feel. So I'm hoping that you will have a line out the door before you know it. Anyway, Sean, thank you very much for being on the Blues Trail Revisited podcast today. We appreciate it. And can we have you back?
Absolutely. I will be back with you tomorrow, Ted, and the day after.
Okay, very good. All right, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
People all drift on from dawn to dawn. Can't find no heaven, no key where they go. Don't care where they go.
Now this announcement. This week's Blues Trail Music Report has been postponed, but Ground Zero's Tamil Edwards will be back next time. Hope you'll join us then. Meanwhile, if you can't wait till then to find out who's coming to perform in Clarksdale, go to the website for the Cathead Delta Blues and Folk Arts store at cathead.biz and check out the music calendar there.
Hard times, yeah, thank you.
And that wraps up this episode. I'd like to thank everyone for listening to the Blues Trail Revisited podcast in partnership with Visit Clarksdale. You can watch the film that inspired this podcast by going to www.bluestrailrevisited.com. And you can find out a lot more about Clarksdale, Mississippi by going to visitclarksdale.com or download the app and check out all the cool interactive features. In our next episode, we'll be talking with Watermelon Slim about his long, round-the-world career, and with the owners of one of Watermelon's favorite venues, the Bluesberry Cafe. I'd like to shout out a special hello to the folks at Live from Clarksdale. You can catch some of Clarksdale's outstanding musical talent and some high-profile visitors by watching almost daily live video feeds on Live from Clarksdale's Facebook page. I'm Ted Reed. To all you blues music fans out there, keep on bluesing. The Blues Trail Revisited podcast is produced by Ted Reed Productions. The field audio producer is Nolan Dean, and our project manager is Jamie Nyes. Thanks for listening.